each other.
Right.
And I know you and I know him, and I knew it was a lie. And I'm like, this is so typical.
Well, not only that, but when I first came into the RNC, Anthony was one of our regional finance chairmen. Obviously, we've done a lot of things together. He was Scott Walker's finance chairman in Wisconsin. You may have seen the clip, I even almost worked for Anthony after the Romney
wait a minute.
loss.
I want to go back to that.
Okay.
What were you thinking not working with Scaramucci? Because Scaramucci knew how to make money. What were you thinking?
He did, and it was a great offer. But he was a close friend. But, you know, I just started at the RNC. It was after the Romney loss, and I knew that there was so much we could get done at the RNC. And obviously, I was still going to be working hard. And it was great that we did, because obviously we were able to build an RNC and then work with President Trump and making sure that we won that election in 2016. And he's doing great things, and I think it's a good day for President Trump to get a person in that comms director that he believes in. And really, sometimes a fresh start's a good thing. Sean did a great job. He's a dear friend, as everybody knows, but it is good to start fresh. And so Sean gets to start fresh, Anthony gets to start fresh, and most importantly, the president gets to start fresh, and I think that's a good thing.
You were close with Sean. You guys worked at the RNC together. I've known you both for a long time. Sean says he didn't really spend a lot of time thinking about it, but it came to him, and this he felt was the right thing to do. The president tried to keep him. So was that a hard day for you on that personal level, because you were so close to him?
Yeah, but, you know, I also know how the president operates, in that you look at people that were around the president and might not be working for him anymore. He's still very close to those people. They're still very important to the president. So Sean leaving doesn't mean that Sean isn't going to be out there supporting President Trump, and it doesn't mean that President Trump isn't going to be supporting Sean Spicer. So I've seen how the world around the president works, and it's very healthy, and he cares about his people. And the most important thing is that his people know that he cares about his people. And so there are some times we have disagreements, but it doesn't mean that there isn't intense loyalty that goes both directions, and that's a good quality.
Because you were so close to him, and look, this is not an easy position for anybody. I've known a lot of people that served as press secretary. It's a brutal job.
It's a tough job.
There's no amount of money you could ever pay me, or not that anyone will ever want me, Reince, you know. But you know, you watch Sean, and sadly for him, he had to go through a lot. And, you know, late night comics, you go through the same thing. I've been through the same thing, Saturday Night Live. Was it painful at times for you to watch your friend get hit so hard, maybe at times? And then dealing with the press corps?
Yeah, I mean, at times I think it's over the top. I think Saturday Night Live is so far over the top that perhaps, you know, they should give equal time to another opinion. But, you know, I think Sean said it best earlier, and I think the president knows this, and Anthony knows this, and so does Sarah, that, you know, you do these types of jobs, and I'm not kidding you, you do get so thick-skinned that people have a hard time believing it, but you don't even read the articles after a while. I mean, you just don't care what some of this stuff says, because you know it's garbage. You've become conditioned to the garbage, and you have to go with the good, honest reporters, and there are a lot out there that want to report the truth, that play it straight, and you have to reward those people with the interviews and most of the things that you can give out.
You know, I know there are a lot of conservatives like myself. We see the president, his movement on judges, the improvement at the border. There are so many Obama-era regulations that are gone. He's put forward his plans. There has been, in my view, a lack of urgency in the Congress. They're not moving fast enough for my satisfaction. We now see, like, they ran into a roadblock in the House, but they were able to overcome it. Now the roadblock repealing, replacing Obamacare. And I know that, you know, after 7 years, people like every conservative I know is throwing up their hands and saying, what's the problem?
Well, look, I mean, it is time for the party to lead on health care. They did a good job in the House, but it's now time for the Senate to get this thing done either this week or soon thereafter. But you look at what the president's done. You look at the deregulation. You look at the realignment in foreign policy. You look at the optimism on jobs, and you look at the unemployment rate. You look at TPP, trade. The amount of work and the amount of accomplishments that this president has put forward and accomplished and checked the boxes, it's staggering. And I think his press release said it well today. It's time to start getting some of that word out there, but also get the credit that he so rightfully deserves. And so this is a good day to start that process and to start fresh.
Last question, but I think it's probably the most important, because we got a lot on the media with Sean Spicer. But from my perspective, the Congress, by the end of this year, they've got to get the health care issue done. They've got to get the border wall, the beginning of construction. They've got to get the corporate middle class tax rates, the repatriated money. Energy independence, I believe, creates millions of high-paying career jobs. Are you confident, with all your discussions with Congress, all of that is done by the, say, around Thanksgiving, the end of the year?
I think certainly by the end of the year. I mean, we have to get, obviously, the budget done. We've got a debt ceiling issue. We've got health care and tax reform. And then, you know, I think we need to get started on infrastructure. Those are the things that President Trump cares the most about. Those are the things he talks about every day. And yes, the leadership in the House and the Senate, they're working hard too, and we appreciate their partnership. But we have to get results done for the American people. We've got the House, we've got the Senate. Obviously, we wish we had 60 votes, but we've got the House, we've got the Senate, we've got a president that works harder than anyone that I've ever seen. I've often joked that, you know, my secret formula has always been that I thought I could outwork anybody. And I've met my match with President Trump, and he's working hard for the American people. But you know what? The people out in Wisconsin and in Michigan and Ohio, they know that. We talk to the state chairmen around the country that are in our party. President Trump is popular out there across the country. Obviously, the bubble here in D.C. sometimes is tough to deal with, but working hard, rolling up our sleeves, having good partnerships in the House and the Senate, and a president that works harder than anyone else, that's how we're going to get it done.
You know, it's interesting. Americans are happier than they've ever been. The lowest number of people, as I understand it, on food stamps in 7 years. And Stuart Varney was reporting earlier today, what, $4 trillion in wealth created since the president took office. You don't ever hear about that on the fake news networks.
Well, you look at, you know, mines are opening up, miners are going back to work. You look at all sectors of the economy, people are feeling better. The actual people participating in getting into the workforce is improving for the first time in a long time. So it's not just the unemployment rate that's better, it's the fact that people are actually going back to work and the net numbers are getting better. That's where people need to look at. And so stock market's up, jobs are getting better. It's just the beginning. And most importantly, people are feeling positive in these polls. They feel like tomorrow is going to be a better day. And that's really important when looking at what the future looks like under President Trump.
All right, Reince Priebus, Chief of Staff, thanks for taking time on this busy Friday night. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And coming up, more on this major breaking news night, the original insurgent, Patrick J. Buchanan. He's here with reaction to our exclusive interviews with both Sean Spicer and Reince Priebus. Also, our